The Making of a Scientist was written by author Robert W. Peterson, who was born in 1925, Warren, Pennsylvania. He was an American newspaper writer who later became a freelance author of magazine articles and books, especially on the topics of sports and scouting. His 1970 Chronicle of Negro League Baseball, titled Only the Ball Was White, was hailed by the New York Times as having recaptured a lost era in baseball history and a rich facet of black life in America.
Introduction to Biochemistry. Biochemistry is the study of chemical processes in living organisms, including but not limited to living matter. Biochemistry governs all the living organisms and living processes. By controlling information flow through biochemical signaling and the flow of chemical energy through metabolism, biochemical processes give rise to the incredible complexity of life. Over the last decades of the 20th century, biochemistry became so successful at explaining living processes that now almost all areas of the life sciences, from botany to medicine to genetics, are engaged in biochemical research. Biochemistry is closely related to molecular biology, the study of the molecular mechanisms by which genetic information encoded in DNA is able to result in the processes of life. Introduction to Molecular Biology. Molecular biology focuses on the molecules of the cell. The cell is the building block of all living things. The important molecules in the cell are the DNA, RNA, proteins, and mitochondria. DNA is made up of small molecules called nucleotides and contains genes, which are the sequences of nucleotides. These sequences in genes are used to form RNA in transcription process, and RNA in turn is used to produce amino acid sequences to form proteins in the translation process. Each 3 nucleotide sequence in RNA, called a codon, is used to form one amino acid. Biotechnological methods are cloning, polymerase chain reaction, also known as PCR, and DNA sequencing.
Richard Ebright's early life and childhood. Richard H. Ebright was born on June 11, 1959. Richard J. Ebright and Jacqueline K. Ebright. Richard Ebright was the only child of his parents. He lived in Pennsylvania, where he did not have any friends. He did not have any interest in playing, so he started a hobby of collecting things. He became passionate about collecting butterfly, rocks, coins, and fossils. He was also an eager stargazer, but he was mainly interested in butterflies. His mother was the only companion until he started school. At night, he spent his time with his mother, just did things together. His mother and him spent the whole evening at the dining room table. If Richard did not have anything to do, his mother found him work to do, not physical work but learning things. Richard earned top grade in school. By the time Ebright was in second grade, he had collected all 25 species of butterfly found around his hometown.
Richard Ebright had a deep fascination of collecting butterflies of different species. By the time he was in the second grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. That was probably the end of butterfly collecting for him. Then his mother brought him a children's book, The Travels of Monarch X, which explained how monarch butterflies migrated to Central Africa, and this book opened a world of science for Richard. After reading the book, he found a lot of interest in tracking the migration of butterflies. This interest led him to work on several other projects and experiments.
Viceroy butterflies copy the monarch butterflies because birds eat viceroy butterflies because they taste good to them, whereas monarch butterflies do not taste good to the birds. So the viceroys try to copy the monarchs to protect themselves from the bird. Ebright's project was to see whether in fact birds would eat monarchs. He found that starling would not eat any ordinary bird food, it would eat all the monarchs it could get. Ebright said later research by other people showed that the viceroys probably do copy the monarchs. This project was placed in the first in the zoology division and the third overall in the county science fair.
Eyebright's theory on life of cells. Eyebright initiated his research on monarch pupa by studying the purpose of the 12 golden spots on its body. He discovered that these spots produced a hormone which helped in butterflies' full development. He cultured the hormones and identified its chemical structure. This led to Eyebright's new theory about cell life. He found out that the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is a substance in the nucleus of the cell that controls heredity. Thus, DNA is the blueprint of life.
Richard Ebright has received the Searle Scholar Award and the Sherin Plough Award for biochemistry and molecular biology. It was his fascination for butterflies that opened the world of science to him.
Richard Ebright's hobby. Richard was the only child of his parents and he felt very lonely because he could not engage his spare time in any outdoor games and there were no friends lived in his surroundings. So he started a hobby of collecting things and he became passionate about collecting butterflies, coins, rocks and fossils. Even his mother encouraged him for his hobby and she gave him all equipment such as camera and telescope for his hobby. And he had been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests. He also became a champion debater and public speaker and a good canoster and all-around outdoor person. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. In his high school, Richard was a straight A student. Because learning was easy, he turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and model United Nations clubs.
We're very fortunate today to have Richard tell us all about it and set the stage for his next successes. So thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much, Steve. So the topic of my presentation today is the structural basis of transcription, translation, coupling. And the work that I'll be presenting you today is work that was performed in my laboratory at Rutgers University, done by Chengyun Wang and Vadim Molovtsov, two outstanding research associates, and was performed in collaboration with Jason Kelber and his colleagues at the Cryo-EM Cryo-ET facility here at Rutgers, Gregor Blaha at the University of California, Riverside, and Min Su at the University of Michigan. And as you've just heard from Steve, much of the work that I'll present today was reported in September in a paper in Science. In bacteria, transcription and translation occur in the same cellular compartment. There is no nuclear envelope separating the expression of genes in the nucleus from translation outside the nucleus.